Hey guys, so as colorists, we make a lot of selections, right? It's something we do as much as we paint, we select things. And I've noticed that there's a lot of inefficiency in a lot of videos that I watch from other creators and how they make selections. And in a production environment like comics is one of those things that it really helps to be fast when you can be fast. And one of the questions I get a lot is how can I color faster? Well, one of those ways is not like physically painting faster, but actually having a more efficient workflow with much less clicking. And let me just show you what I mean here. And one of the things I've done for this video, because there's so many, keyboard shortcuts involved in things, is I've added this little keyboard down here, and the buttons that I click, you can see will light up down there. So like Control and Shift and all this stuff is happening. So that will help you guys to kind of follow along. If you're not able to keep up with all of the shortcuts, that should help. So I want to start with two different scenarios that are both really, really common, okay? Now, let's say, for example, that I have colored this page, and I'm kind of at the end, and I'm kind of tweaking what I want it to look like. And by the way, this is from Money Shot number 3. Don't tell Vault. I don't think I'm supposed to show this yet, but there's no spoilers or anything. This was drawn by Rebecca Isaacs, who is amazing. Really common scenario. Let's say that I want to darken this character here because she's a little closer to the camera. The focus here is really on the faces of these characters, and I want to darken this so that it doesn't draw so much attention in the panel and your eye kind of floats past it. So what's the first thing you would do? Okay, you would go to your flats layer, you would select the hair, and then her coat, and then her skin down here, and her bracelet, and that's everything that you want to change, okay? Now, however you're going to change it, it doesn't really matter, whether you're darkening it or lightening it or whatever. But let's say that I want to darken it, and so I go to my selections, and I'm just going to do brightness to make this simple, and I start darkening it, and I'm like, oh crap, it's darkening panel 1 because I use the same colors, which I do that too. I use the same colors in every panel so that it's the same. So what do? We say, okay, well, let's back up. I'll switch to the lasso tool, just the regular lasso tool. I'll hold down Alt or Option and then just draw a big circle around this and remove that. Okay, awesome. And I'll go back and I'll make my adjustment thing again, and I'll make my adjustments, whatever they might be. Okay, and they're like, great, awesome. And I keep working, and then I zoom out. Well, crap, I accidentally darkened these. I didn't want to darken these or make them red, whatever I've done here. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Hopefully you haven't done too much work at this point, because now you got to go back and you got to undo all this stuff. So we go undo, 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 undo. And you go back to your lasso and you remove all these other areas that you don't want, right? And now you're ready to make your selection. Was that a very fun process? No, it wasn't. There's a better way. I'll give you one more example, and then I'll show you the better way. So in this example, let's say in panel, panel 3 here. Let's say I want to change the background. I think it's a little too dark. I want to lighten it up or something. So what do? You go to your flats layer and you start selecting things. And we select, that's 1 click, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm holding Shift to add to this selection. And these are little bitty little bolts here. So I'm going to switch to the lasso and hold down Shift to add and just draw around it. Now I've got my background selected. Let's make sure I don't make the same mistake again. Yeah, this is the same color, so I've selected that. So what do you do there? Well, maybe you're smart enough to realize you can switch to the rectangular tool, right? And you hold down Alt or Option, and then you draw around that to get rid of that, and you draw around this to get rid of that. Now we've got our background selected, okay? I counted before I recorded this. It's about 11 or 12 clicks, okay, to get to that point. Now, what if instead of 11 or 12 clicks, we use some of the helpful layers that I have over here, right? And watch this. I want to select the background in panel 3. So I go to my layer here, I select the background, I go to this layer, and I click it. I've got 2 clicks, and that is the only thing that is selected. Now I can go above that and make all my changes. Is it black magic? No, it's not magic. It's a few extra steps up front that will save you 1,000 clicks over the course of coloring your page, okay? Now, and by the way, before I forget, the shortcuts you guys are seeing me use down there on the little keyboard, A lot of those I've changed. Now, not the shift and alt and all that. Those are all going to be the same regardless. You might notice that I've mapped everything to just ASDF and all right there on the left hand just to make it faster. That's another lesson for another day, but put all your shortcuts on one hand. It makes it a lot easier. So let's take this back to the beginning. Let's say that I am going to start this page brand new and I'm going to flat it. Now, I'm not going to spend all this time doing it. I'm just going to cut right to the chase here. So let's go down to get everything except just the inks. So whenever I'm setting up a page, the very first thing that I do is set up a layer that has nothing but the panels on it, okay? So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. And I'm just going to show this layer. Now this is just the panels, okay? They're all different colors. That's important. It doesn't matter what colors they are. You can use whatever colors you like. If we look at this, if you hold down Alt or Option and click on the little eyeball, it'll hide everything except the layer that you clicked on there. So you can see by clicking that way, you can see that I've got these boxes that represent all the layers, okay? That's kind of the first step. And to do this, in case you're not familiar with kind of how that works, you can literally, if your panels are perfectly straight like Rebecca does, you can just grab the rectangular selection tool and draw a box around it and fill it with a color, okay? Same thing here and on down the line, okay? That's step one. We're going to use this in conjunction with this special wand mode we're going to talk about here in just a second. But the next thing I'm going to do is I want to separate the foreground from the background, okay? And I want a separate layer for that, okay? So I have a layer. I'm going to turn off this panels layer just for the sake of clarity here. So now I've got this layer that I went through and just filled in the background first. And you can see if you look at this by itself, that's all you get. It's just one color. Everything's all the same color. And it's all the background that's been selected. So as you're flatting, this also kind of forces you to think about your planes, your foreground, middle ground, background, because I am constantly shifting all of those colors in the foreground and background together, and that helps with that. Now, I also have a layer that is the foreground. Same thing. It's just the foreground characters. Now, how you divide this up is, of course, totally up to you, but that's what makes the most sense to me. And there's one extra layer that I use in some cases, and it just depends on the page. Sometimes foreground and background is all you need. But sometimes I will also have this layer that is called planes here. And you can see that this is just that silhouette of her because she's in front of that group. She's on a separate plane. She's closer to the camera. And so if I use this planes layer to set up a layer that I can use for quick selections, it just makes things easier. Okay, so that's part one. Part one of this is getting your layers set up like this. And this isn't really extra work if you open with this, because then you can even use them while you're flatting to make the flatting process faster. The second thing you need to know here is a mode on the Magic Wand that is called, what's it called? In Photoshop, it's called Intersect with Selection. You can see it up there at the top. Now, Clip Studio also has this as well, and they call it something different. I'm going to go to Clip real quick. If you go into Clip Studio, I know there's people that are having strokes and heart attacks because Clip Studio is on my channel right now. But if you go into your tool properties for the Magic Wand, which Clip calls Auto Select, if you go into your tool properties, you'll see these same functions that are in Photoshop. And they call it Select Already Selected Part, which I love. It just gets right to the point, okay? That's actually probably more descriptive than what Photoshop does. So I'm going to minimize this though because I don't know Clip that well, guys. Someone else in the comments can tell me where I was wrong there, and I should have done something different. But so we'll talk about all these modes here real quick first because it helps to understand this. So the first one, this one is called New Selection. So you just draw a selection, and it's a new selection. Okay. Now, if you switch to the what do they call it here? If you switch to the Add to Selection and I draw another one, you can see that it adds it, okay? It doesn't make a new one, it doesn't create a new selection, it just adds to it, okay? This one subtracts from the selection. So if I draw in here, you can see it's actually removing from the selection, okay? And then this last one is Intersect with Selection. So me personally, I keep my lasso tool on New Selection. I keep my Magic Wand on Intersect with Selection. So let me show you how I use this Intersect with Selection. So let's say that I go to my flats and I select his skin tone here. Okay. Now their skin tones on the flats layer is actually the same. So it selected him here, selected her over here, and it selected them in both of these two panels. Now I could just switch to my lasso, hold down Alt or Option, and remove. And you can see when I hold Alt and draw, you'll see that it automatically changes the mode up there. That's why you never see me going up here to click these things, because just holding Shift and Control or holding Shift and holding Alt will add and remove to selections. But there's a better way, and we'll use this panels layer. So I'll do the same trick I did earlier. Let's say I want to select the background. Well, now I can go to my background layer that I made earlier. I can use my magic wand, and it doesn't matter for the first selection if it's on Intersect or not, but like I said, I keep mine on there. I'm going to click that. Okay, so now it's selected the background in all of the panels. Okay, we know that's not what I want for this case. I just want panel 3. So now if I go to my panels and watch what happens when I've still got my magic wand on Intersect with selection, if I click in that panel, it is going to take this entire selection and it's going to look at what I'm now selecting and cut everything else out. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my panels, click in that window, and you can see that it's now only selecting the background in that panel. That's 2 clicks instead of 11 or 12 clicks. Now you could take this a step further and actually color code each of these background panels separately. I actually find it faster to switch back and forth between the layers here, but that's a personal preference. There's no right way to do this. This is just how I do it. And this works in the opposite way too. Let's say that I only want to select this character Chris's hair in this panel. Okay, so if I'm on the panels layer, I can make that selection, and you'll see it's selected that panel now. And when I switch to the flats now, and again, Intersect with selection is still selected. When I click her hair, you'll notice that it's ignoring her hair in these other panels. It's only considering the flats that are already selected. So because I set it up by selecting that panel first, by going to my panels layer, well, now I can go to my flats and say, just grab the background for that layer. Now using the contiguous option here is also an option, but let me show you why I'm not a big fan of this mode. What contiguous does, and I think I'm saying that right, the difference is, for example, if we just look at these background layers, if contiguous is unchecked, which is where I leave it, and I select this background, okay, it's going to select this green color everywhere, in every panel, okay? Now if I turn it off on the magic wand, or turn it on actually, and then select that background again, notice that it's not selecting any of the areas that are not adjacent, that are not connected to what I just did. And you're like, well, that's not too big of a deal. You know, you could click here and there. But what ends up happening is you see, like in this background here, you see this little blue area right here? We don't have that selected, right? And you're going to forget it. This little area of blue right here, this little loop of blue under her hair that's not selected. Contiguous ends up getting on my nerves because I forget about it more than anything. So I leave it unchecked all the time. And that way, I would much rather just go to my background layer, select the background, go to my panels layer, select it, and now I'm looking at just that selection that I want. And there's all sorts of ways that you can use these tricks. I overlap and mix these all the time. So let's say, for example, that I want to select all the people in this panel. Now, again, if I didn't have these layers, another way to do it, it's a little bit faster, is say to select, we could just draw a line around all of them. I'm going to hold down Alt to make a straight line here, and then let it go. And then just remove from the selection. So I can go to my flats and start removing the background and remove the gutters and start clicking all this stuff. And that's a little bit faster than trying to select all of those people. But again, the faster way is to either use one of these foreground layers like this. So again, we grab them all, go down to the panels, grab the panel, we're done with that selection. I can now make adjustments to all of those characters without having to go in and click all those things. Another shortcut you might want to know, just one more tip I want to throw in here, is how to invert a selection. Because you can use that in conjunction with this and get even different things you might not have considered. So another example would be, let's say that I want to select this background, but I forgot to separate all my layers out. Well, I could go in and just for the sake of time, I'm going to just grab all the characters. Now, if you hold down, and you can note down here on the keyboard, hold down Control or Command and Shift, and then hit the letter I. And what that does is it flip-flops the selection. So now, instead of these people being selected, everything else is, okay? So now I can use one of these other layers and narrow it down to just this panel. And just for those of you that are curious, and I'll wrap this up because this video is getting longer than I wanted it to be. Now you might be thinking, well, that's all pretty cool. An even faster way, and this is especially useful in Procreate. If there's Procreate users that are watching, I use these all the time. Because in Procreate, you can hold down 2 fingers on a layer, and it will select all of the contents of that layer, okay? In Photoshop, if you hold down Control or Command and click on the picture of the layer, it selects the contents of those layers. So now I don't even have to switch to the magic wand to make that selection. I'll deselect that. Let's say I want the background. I go to my layers over here, hold down Control or Command, and click on the background. I've selected all the background. Switch to my panels, and now I've just selected the background in panel 2. So this is really, really fast. It's a much faster way than trying to manually click around all of your flats and make selections. And this makes making big changes to your images a whole lot easier. Because a lot of times I'll get to the end, or what I think is the end of coloring something, and realize that, man, I wish that background was lighter. I wish that background was a little bit darker. All the little storytelling things that we talk about on this channel all the time. So anyway, this is a much faster way to make these selections, and you got to think about this. You might think, well, this seems like a lot of work up front. You're going to be making your flats anyway. Like, you could even make these layers after your flats are done. I'll show you real quick. So let's say that we don't have any of these layers. All we have are the flats. Well, in that case, let's say I want to make a foreground layer for these people in panel 3. I don't have any of my helpful layers. They are gone, okay? So what am I going to do? I can draw like a big rectangle here around the whole panel. Now, if your panel lines aren't perfectly straight, and a lot of times they're not, that might be surprising to some of you, I can just switch to the polygonal lasso, hold down Alt, and connect the dots here all the way around the edge, and then switch to my magic wand, go to my layers, get rid of all of this. Again, I haven't set up this yet, okay? So get rid of all of those, switch to my lasso, remove those little bolts so I don't have to click all of those. And now I'm ready to make one of those layers. I'll put it on top just so you guys can see. So I'll fill this with a color like this awful yellow. And now you don't have to do the same thing to make your background layer, okay? Just select what you just did, all that yellow. I'm doing this on top so you can see it better. Invert it, hold down Shift, Command or Control, hit the I, then you can switch to your rectangular brush, and I've got Intersect with Selection selected, and now only the background is selected. So even if you've got pages you've already flatted and you want to use this technique, that's one way to do it. That's a pretty fast way to do it. So I apologize for not having more videos out lately. It's been crazy. I'm on a couple of books that are taking up a lot of time, and I'm a little slower than usual because I found out recently I've got some bulging disc in my neck, which is no fun at all, but I'm working on it, and it's getting better, and I'm just having to pace myself a little more than usual. I'm shocked that working 60, 70 hours a week is, not healthy. So I'm back down to a more healthy number. If you enjoy these videos, though, please consider subscribing on Patreon. I've got links in the description. Join the Discord. The Discord is so much fun. There's over 100 people in there now, and we're talking about coloring, and we're sharing tips, and we're putting up cool videos that we like. They're not even all mine. I don't care. If you find a cool video that is helpful in any way, there's a whole section just for that. There's a section for feedback for members, from me and from other members of the community. It really is a lot of fun, and colorists have very unique problems, and there's not a ton of us. It's not one of those things that you can ask too many people about. And so it's been very nice to have this little community there to get answers. I'm learning from them, they're learning from me, and we're all just kind of sharing with each other. So consider signing up. I will link to some other videos here. I want to make a part 2 on the, what did I call it? It's like lighting like a pro simplified. I'll link it here. You guys are really liking that video. I'm getting a lot of great comments on it. I am reading all of them. Thank you very much. I'll also link to some other videos here that you guys seem to enjoy lately. And I hope to have more videos for you very soon. So take care. I'll see you guys in the next one.